And we are now recording. So, okay. Hey, everybody, welcome. This is the first live information session that we have ever done. So I'm really excited. And this is, as I was just saying, kind of weird for me because I get to see myself on the screen, but I can't see any of you. So there's nothing like talking to yourself in a little bitty camera if you don't already feel weird enough about this. So, but truly, I want to thank you all for taking time to be here. For engaging in this. That says something about you and your commitment already. So thank you. I don't take that lightly. And for today, here's my goal. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of who I am and what this locker room thing is all about. And then I'm going to roll through this PowerPoint presentation that I have, just talking about expectations and what you can do to maximize your experience by being involved with your local productivity coaching program. And then finally, I will just spend a little bit of time showing you some examples of some of the behind the scenes tracking stuff that you have access to. It's pretty elaborate. Hey, if I'm on speaker, hang on. There we go. There we go. Okay, so please mute yourselves or whatever you got to do to keep the lines clear. So who am I? My name is Jake Dixon. I'm the founder of The Locker Room. This idea, this vision started about, what is it now, 19, 20 months ago. So I've been with KW now for almost a little over 5 years and sold real estate for a very brief period of time before I got the phone call to come in and interview in the Quad Cities, which is Iowa, Illinois, for the team leader position. And I thought they were kidding because I was the new guy. I sold one home, but my operating principal in my office said that she had been observing my participation in Ignite. Hello, there's a lesson right there for you. But anyway, she was observing my participation in Ignite and had kind of followed me on Facebook a little bit. And because we were going through a team leader transition, she called me in to interview for that role. Long story short, we ended up coming together on that. So I was a team leader in that office for 2 years. And then I got an opportunity to move my family to the Carolinas region. So we landed in Cary, North Carolina, where I was a team leader there for a year before coming to Fort Mill, South Carolina, where I have been the head productivity coach for almost 2 years now here. So that's kind of my background in a nutshell. And this locker room concept was born really, truly back in August of 2016. And a lot of it was born out of necessity for tools and things to coach at a high level. And we found that there was a niche, a need for this in the marketplace that all of you now, because of your leadership who believed in us, who sought out the best of the best tools to support their agents, I just want you to know they don't have to do this. If you're on this right now and the locker room is in your location, please, please, please go out of your way, whether you even know what it is or not yet, and thank your coach, first of all. Thank your team leader, your operating principal, and the entire leadership team there for what they do, for believing in us, because I do not take that lightly. They saw something in our systems that they said, we have to have this because our agents are worth it. Our agents deserve it. So please don't take anything you're going to hear and see today for granted, okay? That is so, so important to me, and I thank you in advance for sharing your gratitude with your leadership team. So aside from that, as we sit here right now, the locker room is in 60 locations, internationally, by the way, and you may say, well, who cares, Jake? What does that mean for me? Well, I'm here to tell you what that means for you is opportunities. Opportunities to collaborate and mastermind with some great, amazing agents all across the country, about 3,000 to be exact, 60 other coaches that you have the ability to tap into their minds. You get script partners, you get the huddle, which some of you have been engaging in, you get referral opportunities. There was 1 week a couple of months ago that I counted 13 referrals from locker room agents to other locker room agents out there. That is amazing. So some of you right now, if you're in the Locker Room Nation Facebook page, I would encourage you to participate. I think a lot of us coaches are the only ones posting in there, but participate. Don't be shy. Don't just sit back and ghost and watch everybody else participate. Get in the game, man, because you're missing out on opportunities and some pretty special bonding that happens through that Facebook group. So anyways, We're going to dive into this today, but I just want you to first and foremost know that I am one to keep it real. I don't know how else to be, so some of what I say today possibly could offend you. I hope not, but I don't know how to sugarcoat things. So I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to set expectations and talk to you with care and candor. So do I have your permission, please, to keep it real? And I'm going to assume all of you are shaking your head yes over there, and we're gonna keep going here. So all right, here we go, guys. Let's rock and roll. So, what is coaching? All right, so some of you right now, I have no idea who you are, where you're at in the process, but I'm going to treat it as if we're just bringing it down to elementary level here, okay? If you're already in the coaching program, great job. Thank you for taking a stance for your greatness. If you're not yet in the coaching program, hopefully by the end of this today, your hair is going to be on fire where you have to go talk to your coach and say, where do I sign, okay? But this is not a sales pitch. This is an information session. So coaching, oh my gosh, I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But it says here on your screen, you guys can read it. Simply put, coaching is a process. It's not an event. It's not a one-time thing. We're here to help you develop, right? That aims to improve performance and focuses on accountability to assist you in getting what you want when you want it, point blank. And even Gary Keller is quoted by saying leadership, aka even coaching, leadership is helping teach people how to think so they get what they want when they want it. That is Gary's definition of leadership. So as coaches, as leaders, we are here to help you get what you want when you want it by showing you and teaching you how to think. Our job is not to tell you what to do. Look, you guys signed up to be a real estate agent, a small business owner. This is not HGTV. Okay, it doesn't come easy. So that means to you, for many of you, this is the first time you've ever been a 1099 independent contractor. And you're used to having a boss who, tells you what to do. They provide your job description. They pay you according to that. Well, guess what? Nobody's here to come save you. You got to get out of bed, get a routine, and show up to the office and get ready to get in the game. All right, so a coach cannot do it for you. Our job is not to tell you what to do. Our job is to show you ways to self-discover through powerful questions, through proven models and systems, through the experience and wisdom of other people who have gone before you, how you can get what you want when you want it. But I'm going to really spend some time on this as we go through the next few slides of what coaching is versus, more importantly, what coaching is not. I have coached hundreds of real estate agents, spent over, I think, 2,000 hours in coaching sessions by now. And I can tell you, I've heard it and I've seen it all. And by no means am I a know-it-all. I'm just saying this comes from a place of sincerity and authenticity that I get it. All right. So I'm going to keep clicking here if I can, if this thing's going to work. Come on, baby. What coaching is not. It's not training. So I know some of you are out there seeking a mentor, or you think coaching is training or coaching is mentoring. It is not. And I'm not here to necessarily get caught up on semantics, but I have to get this right. My job as a coach, your coach's job, is to drive three things, in my humble opinion. Number one, driving the proper mindset. Nothing else I say or your coach say matters unless you have the right mindset, which means you have to be committed to a personal growth journey. Turn the stupid TV off with the news. Instead of listening to the radio or that CD, why don't you download audible.com and listen to an audiobook on your drive? Okay? It's not training. Coaching is very different because it's a development process. In school and growing up, and our teachers and our parents, we always get rewarded for having the answer, correct? Right? So with coaching, if you're expecting the coach to always give you the answer, you're going to think that's a great relationship. And I'm telling you, there's going to be times that you feel frustrated because even though your coach knows the answer or something has worked for them personally in their past, it does not mean it's the right way for you. And by the way, it's not doing you any favors because we're here to create independency, not dependency. So if you're depending on your coach to give you all of the answers versus allowing yourself to feel some frustration because the coach is answering your question with a question, hello, guess what? They're doing that for a reason because it's teaching you how to think so you can get what you want when you want it. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I'm going to show you more about the difference of training versus coaching here on the next slide, but let's keep going. So it's not your employing broker. Look, I get it. And every coach, I'm trying to be as generalized as I can. I'm not here to overstep. But in my world, I know my strengths and weaknesses. And I know what coaching is versus being a compliance officer. You don't come to me or probably your coach if you have a contract question. You need to go to your employing broker, your broker in charge, or whatever you guys call it in your state. Because at the end of the day, if we were to give you bad advice, guess what? It's not our license on the line. I'm not going to be the one sitting next to you in court. God forbid something were to happen. It's going to be the broker. So we love you. We may, again, know the answer, but don't get offended or don't get frustrated if we deflect that kind of question to the person that really you need to be talking to. Okay? It's not counseling. I kind of chuckle when I say that because, oh my Lord, God knows some of it is counseling, and we do coach to the whole person. This is not just about numbers and production. I care about every single one of you, and I know your coaches do also, about the whole person. And I can't tell you how many times I've had a one-on-one session where the agent walks into my office and immediately, through their body language, I can see that something's wrong. And I basically rip my sheet of paper or whatever I had planned for that day and say, let's talk. What's going on? Okay. So in some ways, it actually is counseling. It's certainly not the magic pill. You got to do the work, right? I don't need to hold your hand and say that too much, but I want to say something as well before I move to the next slide. I need you guys to hear this. I need you to zone in on me and hear this. Your coaching experience is 100% based on what you make of it. I am not here, and your coach is not here to chase you down, to wipe your hiney, and make you be engaged. You know, some things about reporting numbers. Dude, put it on your calendar. Put it as a repeating reminder. Don't wait for your coach to remind you. You're an adult. Take it upon yourself, right? So I'm going to set this expectation. I hope you'll hear this the right way. There's probably, let's say you were with your coach for 9 months because then you went and capped. During those 9 months, let's just say, I'll bet there may be 3 or 4, maybe 5 really, really impactful coaching sessions out of all of them. I'll bet there's only less than a handful that you leave there saying, wow, that was a game changer for me. And the rest of them are more about maintenance. So you're probably saying, well, what do you mean, Jake? What do I mean by that? I'm setting the right tone and expectation because I think some of you would leave a coaching session or later down the road say, oh, I didn't get anything out of coaching, or I didn't learn anything new from my coach. I don't buy that. And I'm going to actually argue the maintenance sessions are possibly even more powerful than the 2 or 3 ones that just blow your mind. Because here's why. If we relate it to a car, for example, right? I know that my routine checkups, those tune-ups, the times I go get my oil changed or my tires rotated, sometimes those are the maintenance things that need to happen. So I avoid or I prevent a major issue down the road from happening. Well, guess what? Just again, like a car, every single Monday when you're expected to have your numbers in with the locker room, your check engine light is on. And our way of coaches to test, is the machine okay? Is it running smoothly or not? So we can go turn that check engine light off, is by being able to observe your numbers. And if you don't send them in and we're able to look at them and talk about them, that check engine light stays on and may lead to your transmission blowing up or something crazy, right? So that's that. Yes, there will be time for oil changes and all the maintenance stuff, like I said. There's going to be times that you are expected to put in high-octane fuel into that car and put the pedal to the metal, baby, where we just got to run. We got to sprint and move fast. There's going to be other times that maybe we as coaches are asking you to test drive a whole new car together, something that doesn't feel right, it's uncomfortable, but you just got to test drive it to see what it feels like, okay? Hope that makes sense. And then finally, I will say this. During your journey, your time in PC and beyond, there are going to be plenty of potholes in the road, plenty of detours that you're going to have to take. What you think is going to be a smooth ride, I can assure you right now, it's not going to be. This is hard freaking work. But here's the thing. As long as you stay the course and you learn to appreciate your journey, not your neighbor's, your journey, and you follow that GPS, no matter how zig and zag it is to the final destination that you seek, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine, right? And so I just want to use that analogy and put that out there to set the right tone and expectation of coaching. So let's keep moving on. So what is the difference? I know this is probably really tiny on your screens here, but the difference we have versus coaching and training really. And it says there that coaching is an ongoing activity designed to help you maximize your business and achieve your potential through accountability. So my biggest question there is, do you welcome the accountability in your life? Are you okay with somebody like your coach pushing on those pressure points and not having you build up resentment towards us, but allowing that and welcoming that, because you know from our heart of hearts, it's because we care. And that's what we call care and candor. If you want your coach just to give you the attaboy or attagirl, we're not doing our job, because our job is to take a stance more for your greatness, more than you're willing to take a stance for your own limiting beliefs. And so there's going to be days, there's going to be weeks that you probably don't like me or you don't like your coach. And guess what? That's okay. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's not a popularity contest. Every single one of us coaches cares way more about you than we care about our relationship with you. Think about that. I care more about you, so does your coach, than we care about our relationship. So if you want to be mad at us or we just don't see eye to eye, that's okay. Because we're still going to take a stance for you, and I hope you'll do the same for yourself. So right here on the sheet, you can look down the list. I'm not going to go through every single one, but coaching, for example, enhances knowledge. Training transfers knowledge. Coaching focuses on what to do with a skill. Training focuses on how to do a skill. And on down that list, if you continue down there, coaching, for example, depends on asking. Training depends on telling. You're just talking at a room full of people, kind of like I'm doing right now, versus getting interaction and feedback and some self-discovery going on there. Okay, so that's some ideas of what the difference is between coaching and training, and it continues on the second page. One of my favorites is the first one you see there. A coach lights a fire inside of you. A trainer lights a fire under you. Think about that. And again, on down the list, if you like this or you want to study it just for the sake of time, ask your coach, because we have this in our resources that they can post or share with you guys, or maybe in a group coaching session, they can go over it in greater detail with you. But my point here is the expectation you're going into this coaching relationship with. If you are expecting a trainer, will there be training involved? Yes. But coaching is more questioning and probing and interrogating reality and holding you accountable to the things that you said you wanted. Again, not telling you what to do, or just constantly reminding you what you once told us. And so many times you're out of alignment because your audio is not matching your visual. And our job is to call you out on that, because that's in a way what you've hired us to do, so you get back in alignment, okay? All right, so do you need a coach, or are you just Superman, Superwoman? I don't know. Do you need a coach? First, let's identify who utilizes coaches. You guys have probably heard all these analogies before, but truly think about it. I don't know, top athletes, Olympic athletes. Every single Olympian has a coach. And by the way, I shot a video not too long ago about this subject. At what point does an Olympic athlete become great? I would argue it's not when the 30 seconds on TV that we see them every 4 years. It's the 16 hours a day in between that time when they're grinding it out. It's in the pool, it's during practice, it's in the gym and lifting those weights. That's when an Olympic athlete truly becomes great, not just what we get to see on TV. So how are you becoming great with your commitment level? Are you showing up to script practice? Are you lead generating every single day? You know where I'm going, all that stuff. That's where you become great. It's the unsexy, the boring, the mundane stuff that none of us, unless you're weird, none of us want to wake up and do every day, but it's the reward that we're after because we love that so much. Just because you buy a gym membership still requires you to go to the gym and use the equipment. So just because you're in coaching, miracles won't happen. You still got to show up and use the equipment. Okay. World-class musicians have coaches, award-winning singers. I mean, look at The Voice, for example. If you watch the show The Voice, they have coaches. Come on now. And of course, top realtors have coaches. Nobody succeeds alone. Here's some more data on that. Over 90% of Gary Keller's mastermind agents have coaches, his top 100. It's amazing. Diana Kokoska says you're 4.5 times more likely to achieve your goals if you have a coach. I don't know. I'm just going to play the odds here, and I'll take that all day long in the event that it's correct, right? The locker room itself, us, you, all of us collectively has absolutely been identified as one of the top programs in the entire organization of Keller Williams. So be proud of that. It's your hard work along with your coach's dedications that has put us on the map, which is arguably the best productivity coaching platform in the entire country. So great job. A few locker room stats. Let's chew on this one. You guys might get bored with this stuff, but I hope you're still paying attention because I can't see you. Agents that are engaged here in Fort Mill, this is all I have to go off of for right now. Look at that number. Even if that number is half right in your office, or double it, I don't know, but in Fort Mill, and I've been tracking this now for 2 years, the agents who are actively engaged in the coaching program are earning 255% more in GCI than those who are not. So don't come to us coaches. How can I say this politely? If you are a professional victim and say, oh, well, that coaching doesn't work, Keller Williams doesn't work, so I'm going to go over here. Give me a break. The evidence is there. And I'm sorry if I told you, if I offend you today, my apologies, but I'm just speaking off the cuff here. And I only way I know how to be is keeping it real and authentic. Come on, it's you that's not working. It's not the coaching. And I will assure you of this. We are not perfect. If the coach screws up, I'm going to give benefit of the doubt that the coach is going to own it. So yeah, we're going to screw up, and we're going to screw up plenty. That's what makes us all human. But I'm just saying, you know in your heart of hearts the difference between playing the blame game versus taking personal responsibility for your lack of results, because probably your efforts have created that pattern, okay? Agents in production within their first 30 to 40 days. I don't care if you're brand new or you're a capper. The locker room is designed for everybody. This is not a new agent program only. This is meant for anybody who wants to take their take their real estate, license or hobby and creating an actual business, because the tools and resources you have access to are so high level. I think a lot of us end up taking them for granted. Okay. And then there you have it, as I said earlier, with the presence we currently have in 60 plus market centers internationally. And I can say internationally because Jamie Green is our first international location up in Nova Scotia, Canada. Pretty cool. So here's what you get. I hate saying that, but I'm saying it for the sake of today. What you get by being part of the locker room, and there's so much more, but I just want to highlight a few, and we'll take a look at a few of these. Proprietary tracking and accountability system. I don't care what you say or how much you try to avoid it. Talk to anybody who knows business and makes a lot of money, that numbers are the language of business, any business. So if we don't, as coaches, have a keen awareness, and you don't either, about what are your numbers, especially the leading indicators like contacts made and database and all that, then it's the blind leading the blind. Numbers are important, you guys. Both of my parents have high blood pressure, okay? For example, every morning they have to wake up and take that blood pressure medication. They know that because their numbers are high. And because the numbers are high, the doctor was able to diagnose it and prescribe a medication to make it okay. Your business, it has a health monitor to it. But as a coach, I can't monitor, is your business healthy or is it sick, if you're lying on your numbers or you're not reporting them at all. It is so, so important. Even if they're straight up zeros for that week, it's okay. Nobody's judging you. Just do it. Number 2, Locker Room University, coming very soon. Super excited to introduce this to the Locker Room Nation. What that is, it's going to be an online video learning module. So we're going to have a curriculum written for dual career agents and a written curriculum for full-time agents. And you can go through this video series and get certifications like you're the master of open houses and things of that nature. It's going to be really fun and gamified, but be on the lookout for that, guys. We're working really hard for all of you behind the scenes to create the Locker Room University. Number 3, tools for your business. We'll go into that later. Number 4, exclusive website with one-stop shop resource library. Look, we've all been there. I know if you're a new agent, meaning within your first year or two, it can be so flippin' overwhelming where you're just drinking from that fire hose, trying to swim and keep your head above water because there's so much available. And in the best possible way, I mean, holy cow, we get to say that by being part of Keller Williams. There's so much available to you that sometimes you just don't recall where to go to find it, and it becomes frustrating. So that resource library is a one-stop shop for you with hundreds of downloadable documents and tools for your business. Now it's just up to you to plug into it and utilize those, okay? Number 5, exclusive Facebook group. That's the Locker Room Nation. If you're not in that, hold your coach accountable to adding you to it. Sorry, coaches, I'm calling you out. So there you go. And I went over that earlier. Hey, woo, alert, woo. Every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, which would be 2 o'clock Central, noon West Coast, and like 10 a.m. Hawaii time. So there you go. We have the Huddle. It's a 30-minute Facebook Live session in the Locker Room Nation Facebook page held by one of your locker room coaches. So you get to cross-pollinate and learn from all these different coaches and the best minds in the real estate business. So if you're not plugging into those live or at least watching the recording of those, you're missing it, man. You are missing out. Okay, make that a priority. Number 7, 36912 capping plan, and we've got a bunch of other stuff, but we have created a model and a system for those people who are serious about capping in their first year. We just ask you, how quickly do you want to cap? 3, 6, 9, or 12 months? Whatever you say, here's the plan. We've got it all spelled out, and we've even taken it in an additional step, where we created a Google Calendar that we can send you, and it will overlay into your own Google Calendar. So it shows you what the perfect day should look like depending on that pace that you need to be running. Pretty cool. So here's an example of a snapshot. All of you should be receiving this in your email every week, and hopefully your coach is going over this with you in your one-on-one sessions. If not, I'm not here to get into that right now, but all of you have this. Trust me, we work our tails off to produce these things for you guys and email that to you every week. If you don't know, check your junk mail. I don't know. Some of you get it and you just don't click on it to open it up, and that's a shame. But this is our way to hold you accountable to what you said you wanted. Up at the top there is the 4 conversations. We get to say your goal was to have this many listing appointments. Here's where you're at for the month, and talk about that, strategize around that. For Ryan and Heather here, who are icons for my program, we were able to chunk it down that we know for every 30 conversations, they get 1 appointment. We know for every 48 conversations, they get a new piece of business. And maybe even cooler than that, we also were able to say the average value, hear this, listen up. The average value of a contact is $125. $125 for Ryan and Heather Bigger. So what does that mean? That means today and every day, if they just do the daily 10-4, just like Ignite teaches us, you make 10 contacts, they just earned $1,250. That's how they have to see it. Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? And so If they cannot go into lead generation anymore, like, oh my gosh, stab my eyes out now, but rather they see it as I'm making money, it just hasn't shown up in my bank account yet. Because guess what, you guys? There's a 90-day lag in this business. What you do today will show up in 90 days. If you don't believe me, test it. I dare you. I was a hater. I was a skeptic of that. It's true. There's a 90-day cycle. So here's the thing. That also means what you're not doing today will show up in 90 days. So for some of you, let that be a wake-up call, because I get it. For most of us in our markets right now, this is the hot season, man. This is the busy selling season. Life is good. But guess what? You're going to say, I'm so busy servicing the existing business that you took your eye off the ball and stopped lead generating. So next thing I know, in August, you're going to come to your coach and say, my business is dry. What do I do now? I got to start all over. Hello, that's why, is because you let your foot off the gas. In the book Shift, Gary Keller tells us to be aware of this. He says, current business should never take priority over future business. And we get how important it is to service your existing clients, but somewhere in there, you still have to have the discipline and dedication to lead generation and lead follow-up. Here's our website. If you've not visited it, I'd be shocked, but it's lockerroomnation.org. This is a little dated because we have a lot more locations now, but lockerroomnation.org. Go check it out. See your coach. That's our website. Here's an example of that 369 capper plan I talked about earlier, just so you know. There's the graphic that sometimes you'll see for the huddle, which again is every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. The huddle, that's in the Locker Room Nation Facebook group. And all this is great, but like I said earlier, it's still about accountability. You know, you got to show up. You got to find your rhythm. You got to get in your routine. Nobody's here to police you or boss you around anymore. So you're an independent contractor. Scary territory for a lot of us. But most of the one-on-one conversations, like it outlines below, are going to be about your business. We know how hard y'all are working. You are working every day, head down, in the grind, working in your business. And I got news for you. Those one-on-ones or those group coaching sessions, whatever the frequency of them is in your market, that is your chance to slow down, to pause for a second, and work on your business. Time is the greatest equalizer. And oddly enough, a lot of us catch ourselves saying, I don't have enough time. But if you would just carve out, I'm only talking like an hour a week to work on your business versus in it, that is the quickest way to get time back, because then we as coaches can help you build systems and models to make you more efficient and things like that. So it's all about, it's kind of counterintuitive, but you got to pause and make those groups and individual sessions a priority, because we're working on your business versus in it. I've got a couple questions. Is it open to coaches not currently in the locker room? No, this is exclusive tools and access for people who are part of the locker room. Karen asked, can we watch this video anytime? Dual agent here at my day job. Yes, I am recording this as we speak, so I will throw this up in the page for playback, guys. We're almost done though, so please stick with me if you're hanging on here. All right, let's keep rolling. Models. Absolutely, we embrace everything that the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book says, alongside CGI and all the other initiatives of Keller Williams. I am not here to claim I'm smarter than Gary Keller. I don't know about you. That dude is a freaking brilliant man. And so I am just naive enough to follow his lead. I read the book over and over and over again, and the locker room duplicates and follows the Millionaire Real Estate Agent systems and models 100%. Are you a good candidate for coaching? I don't know. I hope you are. But are you a good candidate? If you're willing to be intentional about your business, you betcha. If you're willing to commit to lead gen, you bet. You guys can read the list here. There's a few pages of these questions. Please think and answer them yourselves. Are you going to come prepared? Oh my gosh. We talk about this as coaches. We have a private Facebook group as coaches. We talk about this a lot. Some of you, you got to treat these with as much priority as you would a listing appointment or a closing. Showing up 15 minutes late or showing up not at all, not even telling your coach, is not okay. And so we're constantly discussing standards. We're constantly talking about how we teach people how to treat us. And we can't complain about the things that we tolerate. So if your coach might be showing you a little tough love right now, it's probably because there's a lesson behind that. And I ask my agents this question sometimes. If they're repeatedly late or something like that, there's a pattern showing up, I will simply ask them, so where else is this showing up in your life? And I will just stare at them. Because probably if they're consistently 5 minutes late to my one-on-one session, that means they're probably late to church. They're late to dropping their kids off at school. Like this is life, you guys, not just real estate. Everything is a principle, and it probably applies to other areas. And that is consistent with Diana's bold law of how you participate here is how you participate everywhere. It is so true. So there you go. Okay, are you willing to fail? Progress is not possible without failure. That's one of those feared failure, these words that people get all mystical about. Period, end of story. If you were to ask me, how do I succeed? I'm going to tell you to fail faster and fail more often. This is not an industry you can learn from a textbook. You have to learn this through trial and error. And you got to stop beating yourself up, right? It's okay to fail, whatever that means. As long as you get up and you learn from it and you try again, who cares? Again, nobody's judging you. And if they are, who cares? Willing to get uncomfortable, you bet. What will you gain? You're going to learn to get listings, guys. It's you list to last. We know that. You're going to get sick of us talking about lead generating. And are you holding your lead generation accountable to producing listings? Okay, we're in the sales industry. I don't care what you say. It's sales. And a lot of times we're selling ourselves, right? But with anything in sales, something has to be manufactured. Well, in our world, if you're only representing buyers, unless you're a buyer's agent, that can be scary because you're a little bit subject to the ebb and flow of the real estate market, and you're depending on somebody else to manufacture a product. I don't know about you, but I want to be in control. I want to own the product to sell. So we have to manufacture listings and bring them to the marketplace. You're going to talk about leverage and systems like I alluded to earlier, all based from the MREA book. That's when you hit those ceilings of achievement, and we talk about the 6 personal perspectives going from entrepreneurial to purposeful. It's this right here. All of you have your own natural ceilings of achievement. This may come easy to some of you where you just rattle off and get to 12 closings like that. Some of you are like, dude, I can't even get an appointment, and this guy over here just closed 12 homes. What's going on? What's wrong with me? Stop it. Doesn't matter. But the point is, whatever your ceiling of achievement is, you're going to hit it, and you're going to bump your head, and your head's going to get sore. So with the help of your coach, we can dissect your business, find some systems, which is sometimes a system is a fancy word for a dang checklist. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just to streamline and duplicate things. Gary Keller says all the time that if you do anything more than twice, then you need to have a system for it. It can be duplicatable, predictable, and it's like a Microsoft for Dummies book. Okay. So anyway, power through limiting beliefs. I spend a ton of time on mindset, especially in the early coaching sessions with my people. So Madison, Wisconsin, watch out. We're going to talk a lot about mindset and limiting beliefs. And this is huge. Because until you believe in yourself the same way that I and your coach see you, then, it's going to be a struggle. And I don't believe by the way, I don't believe any of you are unmotivated. Stop saying that. There's no such thing as an unmotivated person. I believe either you have impotent goals, which aren't driving you, or you just haven't found your passion and purpose yet and align them. Some people refer to that as their big why. Okay, whatever it is, your coach can really explore that with you and find it, because everybody, I believe God, regardless of your belief systems, I believe God put people on this earth, and each one of us has a unique set of skills and talents and abilities. And all it is, here's the secret sauce, is between you and your coach finding out what comes natural to you, what your strengths are. I don't give a lick what your weaknesses are, and I'm going to turn up the volume loud and proud of whatever your strengths are, and that's what we're going to center our lead generation around. Okay? It's not a one-size-fits-all answer. Lead generation doesn't have to mean 3 hours a day pounding out the phone. So anyway, I'm getting on a rant. Here we go. Time blocking, holy smokes. Even those of you who are dual career agents, those part-time agents, this is huge for you. And by the way, some of you I will put money on all day long because you have that sense of urgency. You can't afford to waste time. So if you have a 30-minute lunch break, you are lead generating like crazy versus some full-time agents who just have all the time and energy in the world and they just waste it. So a lot of conversations around time blocking. Are you ready to get started? There you go. So hey, I want to say this one thing real quick. We talk about, and some of you have heard me say this before, and that's okay. Making decisions. I'm not talking to you like you're my children. I mean, we're all adults here. But make a decision, guys. I mean, really, truly, whether you're in the program or considering the program, it doesn't matter to me what I'm about ready to say. But make a decision. Make a decision to be great and get in the game or get out of the game. Because if this isn't for you, don't ruin it for the rest of us, like what Gary Keller said at Family Reunion. But I hope to God, all of you, my lips to your ears, are in the game and you're committed. Because here's what I know. Decision, the root word of decision is decide. Side, C-I-D-E, literally means to kill off. Okay, so if you're one decision away from having whatever it is you want out of this career or life, but make the decision. No wishy-washy stuff, make a decision. And what am I killing off in this scenario? I'm killing off fear, I'm killing off doubt, I'm killing off mediocrity and complacency, all those words that I can't even stand saying. Because for once and for all, you're committed. And what is commitment? Commitment is doing what you said you were going to do long after the feeling and emotion in which you said it has passed. So decide and be committed, and more importantly, be committed to the process. You guys, hear me loud and clear. This is not always fun. This is hard work. Okay, it's boring, it's mundane, it's unsexy, it is repetitious when we're talking about things like lead gen. But if you love the game enough, then you'll do whatever it takes. I really believe that. I played baseball, and college and professional baseball. I did not like waking up in the morning, going and lifting weights and running my face off. I did not enjoy that. But I love standing on that mound and throwing that ball and saying, here, hit this. I loved the game. So I was willing to sacrifice all that crap so I could play the game at a high level. If you want to play this game at a high level, you got to put in some hard work and sacrifice, some blood, sweat, and tears. And all we're talking about, by the way, let's forget all the buzzwords. Every day, you just have 10 conversations with somebody. Just be human. Just have a normal conversation with somebody. And then somewhere in there, it's got to be about real estate, so you're doing your job. That's it. This is not hard. So don't make it harder than it is. A lot of times we make things harder than they are. We make them more complex than they really need to be. And then we go hide behind that complexity and say, see, I told you. We use that as an excuse, right? So anyways, that's what I've got. I want to show you one thing real quickly, and then we're going to wrap it up, and that is the website. So you guys heard it earlier, but right here, just for the sake of demo, is where the resource library is. If you don't know the password, ask your coach. Hang on, got to type it in myself. Ask your coach for the password. They know it. Oh, come on. I can't type apparently. There we go, yay. And this is what I'm talking about. So this is where you can see that we've put things in the appropriate categories and folders. And then all you got to do is just time block. Spend maybe 15, 20 minutes a day getting familiar with all that's back here. And in no time, you'll have a pretty good understanding. We're constantly adding new stuff to this. So it is a living, breathing organism. But all right, guys, I'm going to stick around for 5 minutes. If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat window. Otherwise, if you're good, I'm good. And I appreciate all of you taking your time with me today. And hopefully this was allowed to gain some clarity around what is coaching, and more importantly what you get by being part of the locker room. And don't forget to go thank your coaches and your leadership team for believing in us and bringing this to your market center. So Paul says, Jake, what's up, Paul? I assume you're typing right now, so I'm going to give you a second. So if you guys need to log off, see ya, thank you. Otherwise, I'm going to stick around here for about 5 minutes and answer any questions you might have. You're welcome, Michelle. I'm waiting for you, Paul. I'm guessing you're welcome, Carol DeLosa. Hope I said it right. Thanks, Jake. We're looking forward to welcoming you to Madison. Right on, Therese. Thank you. Can't wait to see y'all. What else you guys got? I'm making sure I'm going back through these messages here so I don't miss something. Paul says, thanks for a great presentation. I'm in Madison. Oh, Paul, I didn't know you're in Madison. Cool. Yeah, I look forward to meeting you too, man. North Carolina's loss is Wisconsin's gain. I love you guys. That's great. That's MLD. Teresa, you're funny. All right. Again, I'm just going to hang out here for a few minutes. Mario says, thanks, Jake. Good call with Anne-Marie today. Great. Ready to jump in the pool. Right on, brother. Jupiter, Florida. Going to be representing the locker room here very soon. Love it. Thank you, Mario, for attending today. All right. Now I just feel weird sitting here in silence. Looks like I still have like 14 people with me, though. All right. Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, 30 more seconds. You can unmute yourself or type in the chat window. Please send link to the session. I want to circulate. I will do that, Mario. I will probably post it in the Locker Room Nation, the Locker Room Leadership, and of course the Coaches Only page. So you will be able to see it and share it from there. You're welcome, my friend. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to log off. Thank you again if you can all still hear my voice, and really appreciate this. This was the first time doing it, so hopefully we'll do it again soon, and I very much value your participation today. Have a great one. Talk to you guys soon.